Hello, you fine people of this great blue planet. Eric and Mark here with you guys on League on Lock, and it's time. Rift Rivals is happening in NA and EU, but there's still games that'll be going on, and of course, we got to do our power rankings. From week 3, we're going global, the top 10 teams in the world right now, a couple squads either making their debut or making their return to the top 10 coming in here. Starting with one of those teams debuting is Damwon Gaming out of the LCK. 4-game win streak, and you saw the solo laners definitely put on a show this week.
Absolutely. Damwon brought the heat this week. This is what they wanted to be having here. This time, week 3 in the summer, this is what you wanted to be starting to put that pressure on the rest of the top teams here in the LCK. Prove to yourself once again that, hey, yes, we are this team that came from the challenger scene this past split. We are this team that did show some rookie struggles towards the end of the spring split. But we are back here for summer. We're hungry again. And we have the talent that you're going to have to make something happen against us here. Damwon, good week from them.
Yeah, Showmaker and Nuggery clearly showcasing they can be top 3, maybe even higher than that at their positions in Korea. Team Liquid stays put, another 2-0 week, but it's in North America, so not enough to climb up, but they're still in at number 9. Invictus Gaming's also there, but Team Liquid, here's the thing. They looked clean. At times. They were actually down against Clutch, and again, I'm just going to say it. PSA every episode, please nerf Sona. Just please do it.
It's getting to that point actually where like I have a lot of friends that actually like to play Sona, and I'm starting to think you know what? It's not even worth it at this point to keep this champion to be strong, to have fun in games with them. If I gotta watch something like this at the pro level, it's just too strong right now. Too much damage, too many shields, too many speed ups coming through. Sona doing it all. Team Liquid used it to their advantage this weekend. You're right, they did struggle in that matchup against Clutch Gaming, and then even in the match against Golden Guardians, they didn't look as clean as possible, or as what you would want heading into a Rift Rivals weekend, especially a Rift Rivals weekend here for North America, going up against the best in the world in G2 and the rest coming over from LEC. This is certainly not exactly the most resounding weekend here that you wanted from Team Liquid, but strong enough to hold on and keep their spot here in the top power rankings.
Yeah, they have the longest win streak in NA right now, but yeah, it wasn't a confidence-instilling weekend to skyrocket them up the standings. Invictus Gaming, they were here way back, week 1, a little bit of MSI still. They're still the defending world champions, but then they completely fell off, had a rough couple of weeks. Rookie leaves the lineup, and Mark and I are panicked for them. It's over. There's no chance. The season's done for them. They're not even going to make it to Worlds. Forge comes in as the starting mid laner. Nobody can fill the void left by someone like Rookie, but this guy in the biggest shoes you could possibly fill is absolutely filling that void.
Well, the biggest shoes you could possibly fill for what is right now the biggest organization here in the LPL. This is your reigning world champions. This is the champions that you gotta be taking down here. This is the top squad, Wang Xian's boys here. And Forge steps in and delivers the performances that you need, what you've been expecting, what you've been getting from Rookie. Forge is delivering to that type of level here for this Invictus Gaming squad. That's not even putting too much on what he's been doing. It really has been a special performance and a special here kind of really debut more or less with this IG squad and getting it going. But hey, we're giving Forge all this type of praise here. Gotta give a quick shout out to your boy down in the bot lane, Baolan, coming back in there, getting those victories with IG. We said it, we wanted Baolan back in here. This is the guy to deliver that performance in the support role here, and we're getting to see it from IG. They climb back into the power rankings.
They're undefeated. Forge has never lost a series in the LPL, 3 in a row for them against either playoff teams from last year or a current playoff squad in Suning heading into summer. So he's gone up against some solid mid laners, and he has definitely delivered for them. IG back into the top 10, rounding out the first 5 on the list. You got Kingzone in there, who haven't really moved. I mean, they went 1-1. You definitely didn't have too much confidence in what they did this week, and you also had RNG falling down a few spots outside of the top 5 after their series loss this week as well.
Right, and I think those are important to look at these two teams in kind of more or less the same light to look at that. Yes, we have been seeing some dominance from them, have been impressed with the play, the individual players, things like that. And then this week kind of steps in and is a very middling week for both of these teams here, where you still saw some positives, yet you saw a little bit more of kind of some of these simple mistakes that you feel like these teams can clean up relatively quickly and head into the next week.
And for the top 5, you got a whole lot of movement this week. There was a whole lot of action to go through, starting with Griffin coming back into the top 5, somewhere they were very familiar with throughout the entirety of spring. They move up 3 spots. A very good weekend from them. Completely destroyed KT Rolster, and then matched up against SKT, where you had a close game 1, and then they absolutely drubbed them in game 2.
Yeah, hey, man, they were good enough to even chase Faker from the mid lane for SKT.
He was scared. He didn't want to play game 2. He said, take me out, coach. I don't want another piece of that.
I highly doubt that that's the situation, and with Faker subbing out there, but Griffin absolutely did deliver the performances that you wanted in a tough game 1 against SKT, but they managed to find it throughout that later fight there at the Elder Dragon. And then, of course, game 2, a stomp. Griffin has really come into this summer split, maybe after the first week, a little bit shaky, but more or less since then, they have been showing that dominating form that they did have throughout the majority of the spring split in the LCK.
Yeah, and they've only dropped 3 games, all split long. They've been 2-0ing teams left, right, and center, and we've seen a lot more of these dominant 2-0s that we saw again throughout the majority of that spring split. So this team clearly still has the firepower to be one of, if not the best teams in the LCK, and with SKT, about 4 or 5 lists away from getting in to the top 10. Griffin really looks like a 4 front runner here in the LCK, but they're not even the top team in Korea on this list. Sandbox is still 1 spot ahead of them. They stay locked in that 4 spot, which is where they were last week. They are, of course, the only team that's beaten Griffin here in the summer split, and that's kind of why they're still riding that spot into number 4. Top 3 mark. Look at all this movement going on. Obviously, the head-to-head matchup of the millennia, Fnatic versus G2. Fnatic comes away with it. They move up. They take G2 down to number 3.
This is an important situation to remember that, yes, these power rankings change on a week-to-week basis. This is not the G2 eSports that are coming straight off of winning the MSI championship and all these other dominating performances here in the LEC. This is the G2 eSports that, yes, did pick up a victory this week, but also managed to get absolutely steamrolled here by this Fnatic squad. That why, for me, is the biggest reason you can throw Fnatic right up ahead of G2 eSports is obviously the perfect record and that head-to-head match where just, hey, you've seen it a couple times. You saw G2 eSports spank Fnatic in the spring split. Well, this is the spanking back this time from Fnatic to G2.
And obviously the standard at number 1 on these rankings is incredibly high. So one small slip up and boom, FPX comes into that numero uno spot. And coincide that with the fact that they 2-0'd RNG, the previously only other undefeated team in the LPL. And boy, they've still dropped 1 game in all of their best ofs so far this split. They have clearly been the best team in the LPL, and they are just absolutely loving this meta right now.
And here it is, once again, your weekly reminder that if you're not watching LPL action, and if you're not watching my boy Doing B
Watch this team play.
Do some dirty things, you gotta be watching Fun Plus Phoenix play. Might sound like a silly name to you, might not even seem like this is exactly the style that you think that professional League of Legends should be played. I tell you what, sit down, watch a match here of Fun Plus Phoenix playing, watch your boy Doing B, Gimgoon, do some dirty things here that you shouldn't be able to watch unless you're over 18 on League of Legends here. They're doing it, and they're making it look easy out there in the LPL. This is the #1 team in the world, and man, I love watching this squad play.
MVP from spring is Doing B, and right now he looks like the front runner to go back-to-back here in summer as well. It's not IG that's the team to watch in the LPL. It is definitely Fun Plus Phoenix, and they're in at #1. Make sure you're checking them out.